I am back with another video. Welcome everyone to HeadSpace Radio podcast. That is right. This is the official 10th episode. I know I said it last time was the 10th episode. For some reason I can't count, but yes, this is the official 10th episode, and it is good. It is great. I am happy to be here. I'm here to serve you guys, and in turn, I get to talk and ramble about nothing or something, right? Everything I am saying is my opinion. It's all alleged. It's all hypothetical. It's all alternative facts. So don't come for me. Don't sue me. That being said, we have a sponsor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming up. We on the come up, baby. We got a sponsor for today's video on HeadSpace Radio. The sponsor is nobody. That's right. I ain't got no sponsors. But see, you guys were hating. You guys were hating for like a hot second. You guys are some hating ass MFers, man. I don't like y'all for doing that. Don't do that. Wish me well. Wish me well. I'm gonna get some sponsors soon. You feel me? So I'm already a minute in, and we gotta talk about today's topic. I'm pretty sure some of you know about Dr. Umar Johnson asking for money on the internet. For those who don't know who Dr. Umar Johnson is, he promised to build a school, and the school has not been open yet. It's always been next year, and it's never been open. Dr. Umar Johnson, formerly known as Jamal Shoemake from Philadelphia, has a PhD and whatever the hell he's got, but needless to say, he is one hell of a speaker. I will not take that away from that man. He can speak, he can talk, he can debate. That's one of the reasons why he's gotten where he's gotten today, got such a big platform or got such a big voice within the black space of TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and the culture. Where I first seen him, I seen him in a documentary called Hidden Colors. It's a series, essentially. Hidden Colors is a documentary about the black diaspora, black history, black people in America as well, and just history not told by history that we're not being told, but also given to us by intellectuals from the black community, and Dr. Umar was one of those people that was on one of these series, right? Another platform I've seen him on was Sonetta TV. Sonetta TV is a platform that's in New York, Harlem to be exact, and essentially, my bad, I'm out here getting cop blocked by a damn bird, but Sonetta TV is a platform out in Harlem. Essentially what they do is more so man on the street interviews. So they would ask people questions about who was more influential, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, or Jesus Christ. And, it can be controversial for certain people, but needless to say, he ran into a brother by the name of Brother Polite on that platform, which they had a beef. And one of the questions he had way back when was, when's the school coming out? Mind you, this was, I believe, maybe 8 years ago. And Brother Polite is also not doing so well because he is locked away in a jail cell for, well, you can do your own due diligence. But needless to say, he was on Sonetta TV, and he frequents the Breakfast Club, where most people probably seen him on. The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, at the time Angela Yee, but now a new co-host, Just Hilarious, I believe. So yeah, that's where that's where people have seen him. And obviously he goes viral for his hot takes on certain aspects in the community. And he is from Philadelphia, and he looks just like a Philly dude would look like. If anything, look at Freeway from back in the day on Rockefeller Records. Yo, that man rocked the mic, got plays, you know what I'm saying? So got the beard and everything, you know what I'm saying? I think he was once a Muslim, but he is reformed, so he is no longer a Muslim. Yeah, quite an interesting dude, I'll tell you that much, man. So here's the thing. when I was watching some of his videos back in the day, I'm like, yo, this man can speak. This man, I'll say this, he had the backing of black men from quite a time, and kind of like certain institutions, certain churches, unfortunately, they slowly lost the support of black men because they would pander or understand that if I were to go in the direction of lack of accountability or pander towards the female audience more so than the male audience, then you might actually do more in terms of clicks, do more in terms of money, do more in terms of speaking engagements. So over the course of time, his demographic has changed for, let's say, I guess you could say 50-50 to now maybe 70-30 to maybe even 80-20, you know? And I don't think there are a lot of black men still out there that would take what Dr. Umar is saying will take him serious, you know, because, you know, as the year goes on, the more you kind of get exposed for what you say. And it's not so much about what you say, it's about how you do it, you know. The whole model of do as I say, not as I do is very hard to people to take serious when you yourself are out here doing some heinous things, some heinous acts. So, I mean, we're going to look into all this. It's going to be quite a mess. And, you know, man, unfortunately, affinity fraud is a horrible thing that happens within our community. It happens within every community, but I am of the black community, so I speak on that subject with us here. And those who aren't black listening to my podcast, you're more than welcome to listen. Like and comment as well. But yeah, just stick around. So one of the claims Dr. Umar Johnson once made was that he was a descendant of Frederick Douglass. And I don't know if he said he was a distant cousin of Messiah Garvey. I'm not exactly too sure. But the family of Frederick Douglass came out and said that he is not blood related to Frederick Douglass. And that was pretty much debunked, dead on arrival. But he still, I guess, loosely said, I think he changes the wording a bit, so he doesn't go out and necessarily say that he is related in some way. I remember there was a time where he would go on his lectures, and I liked to watch his lectures back in the day because he was saying some things that were very provocative and some things that were very interesting, and I liked what he was saying. For no other reason. Sorry about that. Where was I? I believe it's talking about him being a descendant. But his lectures, a lot of the things that he was saying have valid truth behind them, and I'm never going to take that away from him. Like I said, he's one hell of a speaker, and that's what happens. You gather a following based on things that are true. You build up trust with somebody, and then eventually they say, hey, by the way, here's the collection plate, take the money, give us the money, give me the money, and I will promise you something, and if it doesn't happen, well, then we'll blame it on something else. So Dr. Umar has been around for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. He's been around for a long-ass time, and he's made a lot of promises. One of the promises that didn't make sense to me, and I don't think was needed to make, was the fact that he would go on his tours, his lectures, and say that he was celibate. He in a roundabout way, he kind of, like, if you look back at certain lectures, he made it seem as if he himself was more bigger than life. And I'm not going to say like a messiah or anything like that, but like he kind of got onto the spiritual level type of thing where eventually he had to kind of rebrand it a little bit and be a little bit more homey. Because he's like, oh, the ancestors are guiding me, this and that, I'm celibate. And then around the time of Colin Kaepernick getting canceled from NFL for, whether you believe it's his fault or not, whether you think he's that good or not, I don't think he should be getting his ass kicked out of the league, but, you kind of say what you say. was around the time when Umar was in a scandal of himself, and I believe, with no evidence whatsoever, Colin Kaepernick was a guy that was going to donate money to his school, but pulled out. He mentioned the backer of a professional athlete that was going to donate money, but the scandal that Umar was in was this thing called the conscious stripper. Yes. This girl was conscious, but she's a stripper. So Umar Johnson was laying up with this woman called the conscious stripper, and it kind of was a hit to the image, because it's like, how are you gonna hail up women so much, and then the woman you lay up with is someone who, essentially slides down a pole and essentially sells ASS. And he said because of that, the backer, or he said, I believe because of the stripper and the information coming out, is the reason why a major backer pulled out. And I'm like, bro, it's your fault. Accountability is on you. You know what I'm saying? No one told you to lay up with the stripper. And prior to this, you said you're a celibate. You didn't have to say that. You could have been saying, I'm out here donkey fucking shorties. And everyone would have been like, cool. As long as you say what you say you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, if you get cut, you bleed. If I get cut, I bleed. You know what I'm saying? Just be who you are. But you want to put on this whole thing where you're larger than life and you're higher than most. But then you stoop down and grab the least. So for me, that was a little, insulting and disrespectful. Shifting accountability and blame. And this wouldn't be the first time he would shift accountability and blame. And I think that was very disgusting on his part. He should have just owned up to it and said, my bad, I effed up, I'll do better. But nope, no. Another thing he likes to talk about is marriage. Right? And this is a big one right here. Interracial marriage and dating. Oh, man. I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. But I remember back over here in Canada, Toronto to be exact, early 2000s and early 2000s. I was in high school. And there's these things called jams. If you're in Toronto, you understand what it is. If you're mid-80s, early 90s, also known as a millennial, you'll understand that a jam is essentially a basement party or a party held at a certain event, a certain place, and you'd go out and, you'd be in the basement somewhere and you guys would have fun. These are high school days, ladies and gentlemen. They were amazing. So the thing about these jams, everyone in high school, mind you, I'm in a parking lot, guys, so I apologize. Which I'm going to hone back on, which is kind of ironic. And hope to God I am not one of these guys. But essentially, these jams, again, parties, back then, girls weren't so stush. And what I mean by stush, they weren't stuck up. Most of them would dance. You went there to dance and you would sweat and you'd have a good time. You know what I mean? By the time you're down there and there'd be AC in that basement, it'd be like 50 degrees hotter than it was upstairs on the main floor. And then when you go outside, and it'd be like 30 degrees outside, So, or it'd be like minus 20, depending, And then you go outside like, oh, that's nice and cold. And you get sick because you're sweating and now you're cold and you have to walk home. But needless to say, I was at one of these jams and there was a white girl at this jam. And mind you, it wasn't cool back then. The term was you got jungle fever. And obviously it's based on the Spike Lee movie, Jungle Fever. And I believe that term maybe predates the movie, but I know it because of the movie. So we'll just leave it at that. This girl who I've seen around town, even to this day, she's freaking beautiful. God bless her. Oh my God. This white woman. And I'm out here. I just got to the jam. Whatever. I see her. She ain't getting no play. I'm like, I'm going to give her some play. Shit. Started dancing on her. Every man was looking at me like I had a third arm or something. And you got jungle fever. You got the white girls, huh? You like the white girls? I never knew you like white girls. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, while I'm dancing with a girl, they're shitting on me. And, they dissing girl was just taking it, right? She wasn't really taking it, but like, it's kind of like, it's whatever. I'm surrounded by these people. I get this a lot. I'm the one getting shitted on. Mind you, she's a baddie, and it's funny because sentiments have changed. Where now it's very common to see a black man with a white woman, and now the whole idea of you messing with a white girl is less headache than messing with a girl of your own ethnicity, which is odd to me. I mean, I feel like that's more of who you choose to be with, and you doing your screening better with the person you want to date. I can't be out here shitting on all black women and say they're all difficult. That's insane. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that all white women are like heaven or children of God. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It just comes down to who you're trying to talk to and who you're trying to be with and what you're willing to tolerate, right? So it's more than skin color, people. Don't fall into that trap. But times have changed, bro. Now, if you ain't got a white girl, you kind of look, well, word, okay. That's it. That's odd. So, there's a dude coughing in the background. You got COVID. Maybe not. Who knows? So that was weird. So we bring it back to Umar. I got sorry for reminiscing. Interracial marriages. This man is against interracial marriages and dating. And some people think that is dated. And to a degree it is dated. But he says that the reason why he's against interracial marriage or dating, and I see where he's coming from with this topic, this argument, is that women live longer than men, so therefore the money will go solely to the woman, and she's white, and so on and so forth. I'm like, yeah, but you married her. That's where I come in. I'm like, and then I think my argument would be is that if your mindset is to solely seek out someone that is white or Chinese or other ethnicity, let's say white, we'll just use white people, for example, and then your son, who's now biracial or light-skinned or mixed, is now seeking out the white woman, then your children are then going to look white. And if you are a man of high status, net worth individual, let's say, for example, who's that football player? The one, it was Kansas City versus Philly. Mahomes. He a light-skinned dude, and he got kids from a white girl, and them kids look white. And he a multi-millionaire, and his family, I don't believe, has ever gotten that type of money before. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, them people that are going to invest or have that money are going to look like, quote-unquote, the oppressors. And he's not wrong in that. I think when you're dealing with words like oppressor and all this, it comes down to mindset. If you teach kids or you teach people how to be better, then, this whole skin color thing kind of just goes out the window. But I understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? You want a kid that looks just like you, right? I have a daughter, and my girlfriend, who I plan on making my wife one day, she happens to be biracial. She's got all types of things in her. Chinese, black, white, whatever. And the baby, I got some strong genetics. That baby look just like me, man. Look at that seagull out here dissing me right now. But yeah, anyways, that baby look just like me, man. I can't do the whole Maury thing where I gotta point at the camera, the screen. That baby look nothing like me. But needless to say, baby look just like me. And I love it because, damn it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest with you. As a man, or any man, I would assume, would be odd, would be pissed, or kind of weirded out that you have a child and this kid look nothing like you. You'd been like, yo, what the hell? You'd have been like, yo, what the hell? You sure this is mine? Yo, who you sleeping with? Yo, I'd have lost my damn mind, bro. I would have been like, yo, this is crazy. Yo, this girl sleep with someone else. I'd have been like... So, I mean, there are answers to that. And I think one of the answers to that is, hey, you know what? if you want someone that has the same culture as you, the same mindset as you, possibly, and you want your offspring to look more so like you, there's a possibility you might have to, hang out with your people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against people, keeping their cultures tight-niched, If you told me an Asian woman who is a mother of a daughter who's married to, let's say, a black man, whose mother is also very cultured, believes in the same God, probably works in the same profession, let's say they're nurses or caregivers, let's say, and they have the same rules and whatnot, and they probably got along, they'd probably say, listen, to the woman, why couldn't you find a good Chinese boy? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If that makes me racist, I'm sorry. And if the black mother says, yo, why can't you find a good black woman? And, obviously the diaspora, things are a little bit different. And of course, with Chinese people, it's a little bit different. And obviously with just cultures in general. You could be a white person from Finland and then someone from goddamn Texas. Motherfucker from Texas, briskets. While the other people over there, they out here eating IKEA hot dogs and shit, Two different things, smoking a pancake. I don't know, man. So even within, let's say a Nigerian and let's say a Guyanese, two black people, there's differences there. But we're just going to simplify it, for example. I understand where they're coming from because culturally, let's say they speak more than one language. Chinese people tend to speak more than one language, English and Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever. And they want to kind of preserve that type of thing because, you're already Americanized and it's already tough to keep that type of thing, together. And I'll say this culture is, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but this is what I'm trying to speak on one of his talking points here. And I'm trying to explain maybe why Umar may have a point in one of his talking points, is that even to this day, me being a black man of Jamaican descent, or parents are from Jamaica, and we're all from Africa, of course, maybe from Ghana or Nigeria, whatever the case may be. I don't know. It's been a long time ago. I'm even starting to see within cultures and with time that family members, the food, the recipes, the ingredients, I know it's kind of a meme, but we're losing recipes. We are losing recipes. My mother, I gotta literally hang out by my mother, or I gotta send my girl to my mother and have her learn all the food all the ingredients or the things that my mom would make. Because, ackee and saltfish with plantain, all that stuff. I got a callaloo on a Sunday morning before church or after church. Fried dumpling, even festivals. I believe from Trinidad and Tobago. But all that stuff, jerk chicken, curry chicken, all that stuff. Even when you put potatoes in them bad boys, you feel me? I ain't even mad at that. All of that is going away. All of that is going away. We eating chicken wings. We eating pub food now, getting nachos and, arugula salads and shit, So I kind of get that. I think we're dealing with the times where people are more also convenience. So now people want to go out and order food instead of actually making the food at home. So I think that's another way why culture is dying in a sense, and we're all just going to be eating the same thing in the next 50 years. And it's going to be tough, right? And some people see it more so than others because of negative birth rates. I'm going somewhere here. Negative birth rates. This will be my longest podcast, by the way, guys. I'm already hitting the 25-minute mark. But yeah, negative birth rates, man. Let's be 100. I'm not trying to get into actually, I'm not even going to touch that thing because we're going to go into the politics and then, whatever. But I think it's just how you go about things. If you want to preserve your culture, there are ways to go about doing it without being racist. And I think there are people that are willing to, from other ethnicities or races, that are willing to learn and embrace your culture, But at the end of the day, it comes down to what you want and how you want things, right? So, interracial marriage, honestly, whatever makes you happy, bro. I ain't gonna hound you or come after you or any of that crazy shit, right? But I don't know. Who do I want my daughter to date or marry? Oh my God, I'm a hypocrite. I'll leave it alone. And I think you already know where I'm going with this because, do as I say, not as I do. I'm kind of a hypocrite, I guess. And here I am about to talk shit about Umar always recording videos in his car while I'm recording a video in my car. So I guess me, Umar Johnson, and Derek Jackson got something in common. And I'm not a fan of that. So I will get my audio better. I actually have the audio kit here with me. I have not set it up, but it will be set up, and there will be a time and a day where my podcast is going to sound legit. So I promise you that it will get better. I promise you. All right. So, yeah, that being said, we talked about the interracial marriages, but here's a problem. He says he doesn't like marriage because he doesn't like the white man's paper. So it's just like, so wait a minute, you building broken homes. And in fact, he actually has 2 broken homes. This is another knock to him because do as I say, not as I do. You are sitting here all high and mighty talking smack about people that are in interracial marriages, but they are raising their kids and are with their wife and their children, while you have 2 broken homes and are a rolling stone, frequenting Africa, Australia, Europe, Canada, and of course, everywhere in America. And you wouldn't have thought that this man had 2 baby moms with 2 kids or so. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's messed up because his kids, or one of his kids, has come out and pretty much discredited him and said how he's a horrible father and, this and so on and so forth. And I'm like, damn it, man. You cannot come out here and expect us to listen to what you have to say when your daughter is out here bad-mouthing you. And what you think happens next? He then blames the mother of the child. He blames the mother of the child, he blames the daughter, and he lacks no accountability whatsoever once again. And this is a reoccurring theme, and I'm not a fan of, because this is so weird. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, yo, you just, man, I don't know. You want some next level shit, man. It just, you can't be out here talking about how Dwayne Wade is doing something and this professional athlete's doing something or this athlete's doing something and then you're doing worse. You can't do that. It's just, you can't speak if you out here doing the most bullshit out here, bro. Like, that's not how this works. You move in a type of way that is disgusting. So that's, to me, that was strike. Literally, in my eyes, that was strike 3 for me, Dr. Umar Johnson. And at that time, which this is pretty recent, I already didn't even take this dude serious. To me, I think that I look at him as a Donald Trump approach. If there was a parallel universe that Dr. Umar was just a comedian, this guy would be hilarious as hell, and I'd be all for it. And I'd actually go to see one of his shows. But he's not a comedian. He's just a funny guy asking for donations to build a school that's never going to get built. And that's where I get mad. Because just like Trump, who I think is freaking hilarious, the state of how you leave things when you touch them, they turn to shit. And, obviously I don't wish neither of these guys to do a bad job, but unfortunately, me wishing and you doing are 2 different things. And quite frankly, things turn to shit regardless of whether I like them or not. So, I don't know. This is part 1. Look out for part 2. Don't go nowhere. All right. Thank you.